going to tell us why I say
Right,
this.
why?
For example, we have corporate organizations that embark on corporate social responsibility. Even if you want to do anything in a particular community, you need a data.
That's right.
You know, to bring about whatever intervention that you want to bring about in that particular community. So, and I'm saying it now, just like I said that if, for example, they want to target my village, you know, the data are not in the public domain. They might need to assess maybe National Population Commission before they have it. And that is exactly what we are talking about. If it is in public domain, they don't even need to follow the bureaucracy or the rigors to begin to say we want to use this data, and people are asking you what do you want to use the data for, because you know, as much as we are talking about data as well, some people are using it for mischief too.
That's right.
So
That's
but
right.
again, that does not mean that we shouldn't put the data here.
Yeah, because you
In
know,
the public domain, because if everybody is seeing it,
Yeah.
everybody becomes a watchdog. Even if anybody is banding a number that is different from what is in the public domain, for example, then people will cry out to say, no, this is what is available on the portal or website of a particular agency that we are talking about. Yeah, so Bureau of Statistics is doing a wonderful job in Nigeria.
Okay,
I give it
NBS.
to them. And you can see that, you know, periodically on monthly basis, on quarterly basis, you know, they are gathering data and they are sharing data, you know, with Nigerian people and with other stakeholders to ensure that they make judicious use of the
Awesome,
data
awesome,
at the end of the day.
awesome. Now, what role does the Open Government Partnership (OGP) play in improving climate accountability?
Okay, OGP play a very vital role in climate accountability. You know, when you're talking about openness, we are talking about accountability.
That's
and
right. Transparency, yeah.
And oftentimes, what they are saying is that make the data open, make information open to people. You know, they have done a lot of advocacy around that, you know, with relevant agencies to ensure that, you know, all this data are available there. And it's just not about open data. It's not just about having the data available. It's about how do we make judicious use of the data.
Okay.
You can have a data and you might not use it. That's another problem.
You can have data and not
you can
use
have
it.
data and you are not using it. You might be sitting on an information that you don't even know that you are sitting on an information.
Ignorantly.
Because if you don't do the analysis of your data, you don't know what information your data is passing. So you might not, the data might not really be beneficial to you, because it's only when you gather your data, then you begin to analyze it to see how judiciously you can make use of it. So these are things that Open Government, OGP
Government
is doing.
partnership, yeah.
Yeah. So in terms of advocacy, in terms of creating awareness, in terms of pushing government to do what is right, in terms
Involving
of
the people.
in terms of making sure that people are involved in the governance process, you know, that we are talking about. So
Right.
these are part of the things that we are doing at the level of OGP.
That's right. In case you're just tuning in, we're still having that conversation right here with our guest, who isn't a person of Mr. Olushola Babalola. He's an executive director of Center for Environmental and Sustainability and Development Awareness, CESDA, and it is indeed under the platform of the OGP Open Government Partnership, in partnership with European Union Socio-Economic Research and Development Center, SERDAC. And indeed, the conversation is still trending on here. Well, let's go look at some other aspects of the Open Government Partnership, especially as it has to do with climate change or climate accountability, using open data to strengthen Nigeria's environmental policies. Right now, if you didn't know that Nigeria had an environmental policy, well, now you know. Right now you know, and these policies are very active, and they live amongst us. Right? If you're not aware, it means that you're probably unaware of how these policies affect your life, your business, your everything around you. But then we will look at the environmental agency. And Nigeria's environmental agency is doing enough in terms of transparency. I know you mentioned that some are trying, but particularly you have mentioned the NBS. National Bureau of Statistics, doing the most on a month-on-month basis and all of that. Yes, they have indeed been doing something. So what would you now say to these other agencies that are not being transparent about the data at their disposal?
Yeah, so we need to keep pushing. That's the most important thing. We need to create awareness, just like what we are doing
Right now, yeah?
We need to let agencies, people know, the whole essence of data. The essence of data gathering is for planning. It's not about gathering your data, then you put it in a shelf and you don't even know what you want to use about it. Because when you gather your data is speaking to something.
Okay.
And until you begin to analyze that data, it's going to be very difficult to you to know what exactly the data is talking about. And it's going to be very difficult for you to know what step you are going to take in terms of improving the situation of things with regards, to mandate given to individual agencies or government organizations. For example, if you are talking about management in Nigeria, or let's say Abuja, for example, we need to get a quality data to know where we are in terms of waste management. And we have quite a lot of agencies that are saddled with that. Nestria, Abuja Environmental Protection Agency, and we have other, agencies that are saddled with other environmental responsibility like Nestria, like Federal Ministry of Environment. There are so many of them, and if they don't, they need to rely on data to be efficient and effective in what they are doing. So, and they still need a very long way to go. So, and innovations, that can help aid, the job that they are doing. There are quite a lot of applications that we can use, to gather data, in Nigeria, for example, and how much of these applications are we using in Nigeria? What kind of awareness have they created, for the entire public to know the kind of information they are going to be sending to their portal, or the kind of information they are going to engage them with, or the kind of information they will engage the public with, for example. So I will tell you, in Lagos State, for example, cellophane, containers are not allowed.
Really?
And by extension, the same thing in Nigeria now. But you are still seeing nylons of pure
yes.
around. You still go to even the so-called big restaurants. You go to superstores, they are still using nylon bags, to package goods for you, and which shouldn't be so. So how much of enforcement have the organizations that are saddled with this responsibility, how much of awareness have they created that no, these things are dangerous to the environment? So these are kind of things that we really need to do. This is where they are lacking. This is part of the where the gaps are. So as far as delivering on their mandates are concerned.
Yeah, as CESDA done its best in reaching out to some of these agencies in this regard. And what specific role is CESDA doing to promote climate accountability?
So we are to support what some of these agencies are doing. And we have embarked on quite a number of advocacy visits to them. And the whole essence of this is to, sit down together. We look at some of the policies that we have. We look at some of the laws that we have. We've been able to come up with policy briefs to analyze some of the policy and to give a recommendation on the way to go about policy. You can't use the 20-year policy that is a policy that's formulated 20 years ago with the present day reality.
So
it's not going to be possible.
You're saying the policy should be ever changing.
Yes,
with the changing time.
With the changing time. So there are dynamics. So they need to follow the dynamics. You understand? And that's the reason the issue of research, comes to play.
Let me butt you there. Is CESDA also into researching?
Yes, it's part of what we are doing, and we have.
It's part of what you do.
Yes, and we have engaged government agencies with some of our research reports.
Now that's the real thing.
I can categorically tell you that the first time they did overall cleanliness of the biggest park in Nigeria, which is Jabi Park. We have to move into, because of the issue of open defecation at that particular point in time. That was about 4 or 5 years ago. And open defecation became a menace, an eyesore in the FCT being the seat of the government in Nigeria. And we conducted our research, and at the end of the day, we engaged the report of our research, with relevant agencies. One of them is Abuja Environmental Protection Agency, the Federal Ministry of Health, Federal Ministry of Environment. And at the end of the day, we were able to reach a truce. And the public domains were cleaned up at the end of the day, and they declared the place, I remember at that time, as open defecation free.
Good. Now, this is what some family members in a time like this would say is one of the successes of the research, of what research can actually do in turning around a seemingly a bad situation, making it a better one
Yeah.
for the people.
Yeah.
And that's always been the bane, because quite a number of family members on here, on this platform, would say that we have enormous research as to how to get things rightly done in this country, but no. Every time we are faced with a problem, Nigerians are tired of hearing committees are set up, committees are set up. And they keep asking the question, what then are research agencies, such as CESDA, and I believe it's SEDEC and other research agencies, what then have they been doing? Are you saying they've not had any research on matters like this? Why not, rather than set committees, get involved with these, this, you know, whether the CESDAs or the SEDECs and all of that, let them do that for you, you know, and then implement it.
Yeah, so I sympathize with some of them too. So because when we are talking in terms of research too, you know, research involves a lot of resources.
It does. That's the thing.
It involves a lot of
even finance, which is the
funding,
top of it.
yeah,
the funding,
finance,
yeah,
it's very, very important. And you talk about the individuals that are going to involve in the kind of research that we are doing now. So the question we need to equally ask ourselves is that what is the budgetary allocation for this agency looks like?
Oh.
So if they don't have available resources to conduct those research, it becomes a very big challenge, you know, to them as well. But again, we shouldn't sound alarmist. And that is the reason why we all need to work together. We shouldn't work at cross purposes. So for example, we can manage our resources. If CESDA is embarking on a particular research, SADC can use the resources at its disposal for another thing entirely.
Okay.
Then the government can synergize with civil society organization to get things done, you know, as well. If we pull our resources together, at the end of the day, the result is going to be very encouraging. You know,
right.
at the end of the, and just like I said earlier too, that one thing is to conduct research. It's about how do we now begin to make judicious use of
those research,
the
implementation.
The implementation that we are talking about. Yeah.
Well, let's finally look into solutions and recommendations. And as you look into that, the solutions and recommendations, you might as well want to put us into technology and innovation advancement in the process of climate accountability, as well as the private sector accountability in the process and in the system.
Yeah, so I think the first thing we need is synergy.
Okay.
That's very, very important.
Okay.
So because in divided we fall, in united we stand. So, and if we bring every diversity together, it becomes a strength. You know, at the end of the day, be it business, be it government, be it civil society organization, even be it individuals. We have quite a lot of environmental enthusiasts there. You understand that I have one or two things to contribute to the society. So just like you said, we've talked about research. That's very, very important. If you want to make an headway, then we talk about training. It's very, very important too, because if there is no training, there is little or nothing we can do. You can't solve the problem of 21st century with the realities of 50 years ago. It's not going to work, because there are so many things that this is going to impact on. We talk about population, we talk about changing dynamics.
That's right.
You know, of the present day. So we need to take cognizance of those things in whatever we are doing, if we want to change the narrative, if we want to bring about that transitional change that everybody is clamoring for.
So is it possible?
You know, at the end of the day, it's very, very,
very possible.
So we can just like the biblical say that don't despise your little beginnings.
Okay.
You can start from somewhere.
Right.
What is crime is not starting at all. You understand? If you just sit down and say, okay, we don't have budgetary allocation, so we are not going to do that. No. We should be looking at alternatives. Can we partner with international development partners to make this done? We have foundations, international development partners that can actually support government to carry out research, to bring about training to their personnel. You understand? And to equally assist in so many ways, you know, as well, giving them technical support, you understand, and making sure that at the end of the day, you know, things fall in line. Then civil society organizations have a very big role to play.
Okay.
We used to tell people in government and private sector that we are open to partnership, we are open to collaboration.
Right.
We are sitting on information, and we want to make good use of our information, the data that we have at our disposal. How can we come together, work, you know, collaboratively, so that at the end of the day we can all deliver on our mandate, as entities.
When you say deliver on our mandate, it reminds me, on our mandate we shall stand. On your mandate we shall stand. But anyways, we will stand on the mandate of the people, and of course the people becoming which are the largest political structure that we have, regardless of all the party systems that we have. The people are the largest and the most powerful. It is on that mandate, and it is because of that mandate that we're having this conversation, so that we can sensitize, open the eyes, educate, inform, and allow for Nigerians to be able to understand the nitty-gritty of what topical conversations such as this, climate accountability, and using the open data to strengthen Nigeria's environmental policies are all about. I want to say a big thank you, special thank you to you, Mr. Olushola Babalola. You are the Executive Director of Center for Environmental and Sustainability and Development Awareness, and that is CESDA. I'm looking forward to more conversation with you in the coming days.
Thank you very much for having me on your show.
Awesome. That's where we call it close. My name is Udwak Daniel. Bye for now.
About to experience orgasm. On the Eagles 102.3 FM.
What is it that they told you?
Chai, it don't happen oh.
Oga Shike, wetin happen?
Now this my Abuja Home Limited oh. The ogbonge real estate company wey dey reliable, wey dey support small man.
My Abuja Home Limited?
Yes oh, dem don dey sell their out of old title estate land for Karishi for cheap amount.
Karishi bawo? This our Karishi. Where for Karishi sef?
Just opposite the Navy Phase 2 estate, you go see their land back for their discount pre-lot price. Their 400 square meter plot of land now just 4.9 million naira, while their 200 square meter plot now just 3 million naira only.
Hey, Oga Shike, this na the best deal bros for land wey get correct title document oh.
My brother, as I read my Abuja home office like this, I buy 4 plots at one time. The one wey bust my head finish na say you fit dey pay small and then show me their out of full title certificate from Najis. My brother, but hurry oh, na only 37 plots dey the estate oh.
Morire, Oga Shike, abeg give me their number.
Yes, you fit call their number for 0808 8837 426. The number again, 0808 8837 426. Abi you fit call this other number, 0808 27 23824. The number again, 0808 27 23824. Or you fit visit their website for www.myabujahome.com.
Hello, I want to buy land oh. Buy or talking?
Marius, I don't show you will. My Abuja Home, live the life.